in one way or another. So this challenge had been from the 50s, as I said earlier, has been there, and every time there have been attempts to give solutions or answers according to the level of development, the programming languages from one side and the technology on the other side. If they have remarks or questions, I will try to answer them. Thank you.
Yeah.
Not all at the same time.
The question for me, the more important is, in general, I think that computing with words is related with the concept provided by Zade of granularity. When we said words, when we said that we are computing with words, we are referring as the way we speak between us. In order, for instance, when I explain somebody something, expecting from him to take an action, for instance. That produces in his mind some kind of reasoning that produces sometimes the action that I am expecting and sometimes other, okay? Because I cannot predict exactly which is going to be the response of that person. That is competing with words in the sense that I think other things, but at least as I am thinking. When we said that we are going to implement in a machine that capacity, that what we are saying is that we are going to go from the very abstraction that's supposed to speak in so fuzzy way of explaining the things to the very detailed way of putting the things in zeros and ones. And that is a way of going to the abstract and going back to the detail in order to be able to create that kind of computer, that is the computer that is able of, in that moment, in that instant, to interpret the meaning of the words that are very, yes, I know that you don't agree with me, but that is the way of seeing the things, because in your speak, it seems that computing with words is different than computing with one and zeros. And for me, that is the same. That is maybe my first question. Maybe in that point we don't agree. It seems that we don't agree.
I want to return to the definition that I showed from Zade. He showed us the objects of the computation, but not the agents of the computation. He doesn't say what will be done. He doesn't say how it will be done. Nobody knows. I guess this is the first challenge, to clarify what kind of operations are we going to do.
One thing is how we are going to do that, and the other is what we must do. That I think that we must be able to compute with words in the sense that we must compute with the meaning of the words.
I agree with you. Tell me which are the operations of that computation.
How to do that operation?
Which are the operations?
I think that it is
Which are the operations defined on meanings to obtain new meanings and results?
I think that it is not easy, of course, as you are saying, but it is possible.
If
okay,
I agree with you, it should be possible, but if you don't know which are going to be the operations that are needed to process concepts, to obtain new concepts, how are you going to implement them? How are you going to use them?
I think that the way to implement that is in the same way that we have been able, human beings, to go from fortran to ones and zeros. And now what Zade is telling us is that we must include in that programmation the uncertainty. We must include the possibility of saying general things, but that must be interpreted in terms of the current context where the words are being used.
That was Zade 1996. Fuzzy logic equal computing with words. So uncertainty, so fuzzy problem.
That is the track to follow.
Yes. But now he's speaking with quite different message.
No, they are saying the same. They have
it is different.
It is not.
The last one he doesn't mention fuzzy logic.
We have a paper from the last for a ghost in this year that is saying more or less the same than always. I can show you that paper. They have in Albert desk now. But it's saying exactly the same. More or less we knew words but they are asking us to advance, introducing uncertainty in the computers in the same way that human beings do that for thinking, for reasoning.
This is okay. I have nothing against that. But that's a non-computer good plan. Using fuzzy logic to be a way in programming language environment. So, it's like I did it many years ago with the fuzzy program.
In my view, computing with words does not yet exist. It's a challenge, it's an idea. And there is some people around the world that shares this idea with quality. Although not all of these people understand the same philosophy. For example, my view is what you call the positive view, and I think it will be very interesting to enlarge fuzzy logic, fuzzy set theory, to cope with more difficult aspects of language. The example of non-commutativity. So here, a lot of different, for example, it's very strange in language when talking to use the associative property. Very strange. Very strange situations in which the movement of parentheses means something. Usually we don't use that. Then, from this point of view, I think that computing with words is just a challenge for people working in mathematics and in computation, computer science. It is a challenge, but to do something in that line, first of all, which kind of problems we will try to solve that cannot be solved with another system? This is the most important question. If you pose a problem, and this problem can be solved without computing with words, I don't know, with any computer methodology, why to introduce computing with words? Computing with words should solve these problems that are not it's not possible to solve with another system, or to solve them, these problems, quickly, cheaply, and in a robust way. If you place it on the table this kind of problems, I will say, well, maybe computing with words will be something. But today, computing with words is nothing. It's just 3 words created by CwW. That he has a marvelous ability to change the words. And we were talking on fuzzy logic, and then he introduced some computing. After soft computing, he introduced computing with words, and now maybe he's forgetting computing with words and in another subject. There's the same idea, but with another. I don't know. For example, what I think would be really important is to have inside the computer a semantic analyzer. Part of the computer, I cannot imagine how the semantic analyzer would be, but when a person is writing something, text, if possible a sophisticated text, to have a kind of corrector. There are the syntactic correctors. You mark, and you have a line on red color that marks the words that maybe are not correct. In the same way, to understand the meaning, the contextual meaning of the letter of the text, and to ask you questions. Are you sure you will say that? Be careful, because this is not consistent. This could be a very important